guest today is Brian Kipping. Brian is president of the Highlands Summer Festival. It's great to see you, Brian. Thanks very much for joining us. Good to have you here.
That's wonderful to see you as well. We miss you up here, Mike.
Well, I certainly miss seeing all of you. There's no doubt about that. And so an opportunity like this it's a very happy thing for me, believe me.
Oh, great. For us as well.
Well, here we are into almost the middle of January, and we're already talking about the Highlands Summer Festival. But there's been a lot of preparation that's been taking place, a lot of decisions that had to be made as well. So the program is a reboot of the season that didn't happen.
That's right. That's true. And there are a lot of things involved with that. We have cast members who have moved. We have cast members who are older children than they were 2 years ago, and the children may not be able to participate in the same role. They might be fine for an older sibling, because they have to be, remember the movie, how they have to be stepped up in height and ages and so on. And of course, they could be in the chorus of the show as well. So we're hoping that we can keep them all in the production in some way. But we will be holding some auditions for those who have left town or can't participate, or for the children who we need to replace because we need younger ones. So that will happen. Controls being facilitating. February 5th and 6th, I think it is, here in Halliburton in the United Church. That's where the auditions will take place.
Now, I understand on your website there is an audition package, so anybody that is interested in participating in one way or another can pick up the information there.
Yes, it's under a section called Get Involved on Stage on our website. Our website is highlandssummerfestival.on.ca. And so the package is quite comprehensive. All the roles are there and the descriptions and the typical ages. There's just a wealth of information for somebody to read through, and I encourage people to do that.
How many of the productions in 2022 will be involving local people and have original productions?
Well, typically we produce 3 of our own shows, and we bring in 2 professional shows to fit in between our 3. That gives us time to change the sets in the theater and do the technical work and lighting to get prepared. So the Sound of Music, definitely we will be doing with our own people, and the importance of being earnest as well. And Every Brilliant Thing, which is a one-person play, that will be somebody local as well.
Now, these productions, I think Sound of Music will lead off the season. Is that correct?
Yes. Which is fantastic news for us. I mean, it has to be one of the world's most famous musicals. People know the music and the wonderful story. So, we just couldn't ask for a better show to bring people back into the theater.
It's an uplifting show.
Really
great
is.
Music and great fun.
Yes. And we're hoping, difficult to tell whether people will be comfortable coming back to the theater and sitting elbow to elbow with some people maybe that they don't even know, but we've got time, and I'm hoping that by then, people will be more comfortable. Certainly people will want to be going to the theater and doing some things that they haven't been able to do for the last couple of years. So, there's some questions, but we're optimistic. We certainly have the shows that would entice them to come back.
Absolutely. And by what everybody's saying, we should start to see some promising curve on this virus within the next few weeks. And hopefully, if that continues, by the time the first show is ready to launch, we should be enjoying a higher degree of normalcy.
Yes, well, we would typically start rehearsals at the beginning of April. So, we have to have those controls pretty well lifted by then, right? Because we're going to have groups of people in a confined space and singing together and so on. So, our deadline is actually well in advance of the summer.
Sure, sure.
So hopefully, fingers crossed.
That's all you can do. All you
It
can
is.
do.
It
Now,
is.
you had a lot of people who, we thought we were going to have a season last year, and there was lots of preparations, and people bought tickets and what have you. And have many of the folks held on to their tickets, or how does that work?
Yeah. Well, we gave everyone the opportunity to either have it refunded or to leave the tickets with us. And we have a large group of patrons who have left those tickets with us. In fact, we just in the process of communicating with them again, saying, we're still here. We're planning to be on stage. We've got your tickets, they're reserved, and just so that they have the comfort of knowing that we haven't, forgotten our commitment there. But they will definitely be part of our season this year. We're really happy about that.
The summer festival is taking ticket orders now.
Yes.
People can do that online as we speak.
Yes, or they could call our box office as well. They can get that phone number on the website. So in either case, Jim will be there and happy to take their orders.
Now, the shows that are being produced locally, we'll call it locally, even though we may have some graduates from out of town coming back. There's always great people who have gone on to do a theater in other places that come back to participate. The shows we talked about, The Sound of Music. Now, the importance of being earnest, does that follow on almost immediately after Sound of Music?
Well, typically the shows that we bring in, the professional shows, are in between our three productions, and that is to say to give us time to move the current set, the set for, let's say, Sound of Music, out and get the set in for the importance of being earnest, which is a big, beautiful interior home set in England. So, there's work to be done. So in those few days, we get to do that work in behind the scenes, and the professional shows offer some entertainment in between.
What is the second show then? Well, there's a Across the Pond is one of the shows.
Yes, Lisa Way, who, if you recall, last summer, the Summer Festival put on a concert with Lisa Way and her band in Head Lake Park, which was enormously successful. So she is coming back. And the other show is called Lucienne, and it's a French-Canadian laborer who has the solutions for everything in the world. And he shares them, right? So yeah, it's a wonderful production, great reading. So
we can always use that kind of person around us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Now we've talked about the shows and the auditions that'll be coming up. There are some other interesting things that you offer on your website, and I think we should chat about them for a moment. There's an invitation for people to join the summer festival via email, and maybe you could talk about why that's a good thing to do.
Well, of course, all of our members or acting members will want information, and it's a way to keep in touch with them. But it's the same thing for our patrons. They can get up to date news on what we're doing and a description of the shows, and so there's lots of information there for an individual who's interested to visit the site and find out what they need to know. And if there's something that they the question that isn't being answered, they can send us an email and we will definitely get back to them. Or they could call Jim Frost at the box office. Jim's always well informed and happy to talk with our patrons.
Well, at times like these, staying abreast of what's going on is important for all of us. And the email service is another way that fans and patrons can stay in touch with what's going on at any particular point in time.
Yeah,
so a good thing to do. One of the other offers on the website is to be a donor. And I wanted to touch on this because, people say, well, you didn't have a season last year, so you didn't spend any money. not exactly the case, is it?
No, no. I mean, we do have ongoing running costs. We have a unit here that we rent where our sets are stored. We rehearse there. And so that rent has continued through the whole piece. You know, some of our staff, we need to keep them active, and we need their services. So, you know, I mean, obviously there's no acting going on or set building yet, that type of thing. But, you know, Scott Denton, our artistic director, has been engaged all through this, and Melissa Stevens as well. So there are ongoing costs, and we've been very fortunate that between the grants that we receive both locally and provincially, and the donations that we've received from so many supporters, that we're okay. We think we project even with because those tickets are already sold, there's some revenue that won't happen in this coming season. But even with that, we think we'll come out at the end of the season all right.
That's good.
So we're pretty optimistic. Yeah.
Well, that's good news. Good to hear. And certainly for anyone that's a fan, a supporter, making a donation of any size is always appreciated.
Oh boy, I mean, we really depend on that. We are a registered charity, so there is a tax receipt that we can provide. And I mean, we really would be in deep trouble without the generosity of our donors. We really would. So it means a lot to us, and we greatly appreciate the support from year to year.
Now, Brian, during this pandemic period, the planning that goes on a regular basis, there's lots of activity behind the scenes that's taking place. I would imagine most of these are taking place in virtual environments, and that just as we're doing with this interview, you're staying in touch at distance.
Yes, that's a fact. We won't really be seeing people face to face until our auditions hopefully take place, at the beginning of February, and then in April we will have, we'll start set construction and a lot of other activities where we have people in working together in close quarters. So, we're dependent on the controls being lifted by that time.
I would just say a quick thing about being involved with the summer festival, because one of the opportunities for people is behind the scenes as well, and certainly the preparation of sets and the painting, as well as the behind the scenes stage work. Volunteers are always welcome to apply for the festival for all that kind of activity as well.
Oh yes, we're absolutely dependent on them. As you say, all the set construction. We've got people who work front of house, in the theater. We have ushers that help us, in the theater at the time. And again, like that construction, finding props we need, building, designing, and making costumes. There's a lot of activity that takes place outside of the summer in preparation for the season. And that's going to, that will have to all gear up again pretty quickly.
So if people want to have some fun and want to be a valued volunteer, that's something that they should look into.
Oh, it is enormous amount of fun. Like, I'm pretty much a hack when it comes to tools and that sort of thing, but I've been on the set construction crew for quite a few years. I've learned a lot. And, we have a really great time together, building the sets and working together. And the ladies that paint, of course, then we all, we're all under the same roof there. We take a little break together and have a coffee and a cookie and share our experiences for the week. It's really quite nice. Really quite nice. Yeah.
A great opportunity for someone that wants to be involved with theater, but not necessarily on the stage.
Oh, absolutely. There are more people off stage than on stage.
Well, we'll say best wishes on the audition process. I'm sure that will be a first important step for the summer festival. And I've got to tell you, Brian, the very thought that the summer festival is coming back this year, I'm sure that's a good feeling for so many people. We're all very anxious to get back to normal. And what a great way for us to celebrate the summer season.
Yeah, starting with the Sound of Music. I mean, what a perfect start, right? Yeah, I agree totally. Everybody's anticipating this tremendously.
Brian, thanks for joining us today. Good to chat with you again.
Yeah, good to see you too, Mike. All the best.
Our guest today has been Brian Kipping. Brian is president of the Highlands Summer Festival.